Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Michael. Michael is from Dublin in Ireland. So let's see what Michael has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, how was your day today?
Yeah, things have been good. It's been a busy enough day. I've been working towards kind of some creative projects at the moment, and yeah, things have been pretty good. I just got my artwork back for my next single, so I will be working towards kind of releasing that now, which is very exciting for my kind of next project. And yeah, just going to be kind of working away on that for the next while. It's going to be a little bit of a long campaign. They usually kind of always are with kind of singles and stuff, with a lot of kind of promotion and planning kind of putting in place. But yeah, I'm excited to
Oh,
kind of get into it. So
wow. Okay, so let's start the interview talking a little bit more about your career as a singer and as a musician. Okay, so tell me how everything started.
So for me, I've been singing since I was about 7 years old. I've always been kind of like singing through kind of primary school, and then I kind of was in a lot of different choirs and stuff kind of growing up. And I've always had a massive passion for singing. It's always been something that has kind of been, very much the love of my life. I've always had a massive passion for being able to perform and being able to connect with kind of songs, because I always kind of find that being able to sing and being able to perform for people kind of helps me not only kind of express myself kind of emotionally, but also kind of spiritually in a way. So
Amazing. And tell me, where are you from, Michael?
so I'm from Dublin, Ireland. So I've lived here my whole life. I've been in Baldoyle for pretty much a good chunk of my life. But I love traveling, so I like to kind of wander around. And I've done a J1 over in Boston, so I did 3 months working and living over there, which was fantastic. It was a really kind of unique and fun experience. I was working as a host in a five-star hotel, kind of on the harbourfront in Boston, which was amazing. We had a kind of music playing kind of 3 days and 3 days a week, and it was kind of a really lovely experience to kind of be there and listen to kind of the kind of pop soul kind of music, or the blues, or the kind of jazz that was kind of playing kind of on the barge. So yeah, I love traveling whenever I get the chance, and kind of being able to kind of wander around and be kind of immersed in different experiences and different cultures. So
Wow. And right now you're based in Dublin right now.
yeah, based in Dublin at the moment. I'm planning to move to London next year though.
Really?
So that's currently
Oh,
the plan. Is I've got a goal of like building up a certain kind of financial kind of amount. And once I kind of hit that goal, then I'm going to start looking at places and see kind of how I can move over. I'm kind of working in kind of events work at the moment, so I kind of work with a company called Breaking Sounds. So I do a kind of show once a month kind of for them, and then I'm also kind of occasionally doing my own independent shows. But that's kind of all kind of side kind of stuff, as well as kind of working towards my kind of music and songwriting and getting back out performing again as well.
so tell me, what's the biggest joy of living in Dublin, in your opinion?
That's a good question. For me, I think it's the people.
Uh,
I think like just the people you meet on nights out, the kind of really strong kind of friendships I've kind of built up kind of along the way. I've kind of met some amazing people through college. So I
uh-huh.
did a 4 year degree in commercial modern music in BIM Institute in Dublin. And
Wow.
I met some of the most amazing people there. And like some of my closest friends have kind of come from that. And I've got now kind of a really nice network of people that, I hold kind of very dear to myself. And
Wow.
very, very lucky with some of the people in my life. So yeah, definitely the people in Dublin, I'd say, are kind of one of the main things about being here.
And what do you find most challenging about living in Dublin?
Definitely like I think because at the moment I live at home. So I think, not having kind of enough of kind of my own space, and like because like rent prices and stuff are so like high in Dublin, it's very difficult to even think about kind of moving out or being in my own space. So I've kind of decided if it's going to be expensive everywhere, I might as well be in London and have access to everything. So
Yes, I've been to Dublin once a few years ago. It was an amazing experience. And yeah, I remember it was quite expensive at the time. It was like, wow,
Mhm.
I was expected to be this expensive.
Yeah,
Great, for sure.
no, like Dublin is gorgeous, but it's absurdly expensive.
Okay, Michael, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about
Mhm.
your journey so far, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Thank you very
So,
much.
I'm my best friend. Full of random questions. So, what
Hmm.
I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the
Hmm.
first question. Okay?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Okay, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change. Okay?
Brilliant, thank you.
Amazing. First question is, what would your theme song be if you had your own show?
Oh, my theme song. I think it would be something very ballady, something kind of anime style esque. Nothing like too kind of nerdy, but I think for me it'd be something heartfelt and emotional. Something that definitely portrays different kind of parts of my life. I think I've had a very kind of wild journey kind of throughout my life so far, and I think definitely something emotionally emotive and moving would probably be something that would kind of tie in with my kind of theme song.
I see. You're kind of person that for you, your tendency of listen to music could be like something more, dance music or pop music, or for more melancholic. There is like a kind of music genre that you go for it more.
Yeah, for me, it kind of depends on kind of my kind of mood. I kind of do a lot of kind of like kind of mood kind of playlists. But I do love in general listening to kind of EDM kind of dance music. Like I love listening to kind of some pop music and folk music, depending if I want kind of something a bit more chill or if I want something a bit more kind of inspiring. I might listen to some kind of classical music or something kind of along those lines. Yeah, I listen to a wide variety of music.
Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do
it. Let's do it.
Michael from Ireland. Right, next question is, what's the best advice have you ever received?
Oh, best advice I've ever received. That's a good one. Okay, I'll have to think about this one now, actually. Let's see. Best advice I've ever received. I'd say it would probably be like not holding on to the past too much, like kind of fully focusing on the present, and as much as the past can be a part of our story, it doesn't have to be our story. So I think it's very much allowing myself to, not focus on what's happened in the past to me and just be able to kind of focus on my future. So I think that's probably some of the best advice I've gotten.
And when you look back, when you think about your childhood memories, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
I think for me, probably waking up on Christmas Day and probably receiving my first Nintendo DS. I have a lot of memories kind of growing up. As you could tell from this jumper, I'm very much a nerd. So a bit of everything, bit of Mario, like Pokemon, like Zelda, like any of those kind of older kind of style, like classic games that I would have kind of played kind of growing up. And I kind of spent a lot of time kind of gaming, and music was kind of two of my kind of escapes kind of growing up. So both of them kind of hold very kind of special memories for me. So yeah, I'd say probably waking up to my electric blue Nintendo DS or turquoise Nintendo DS, which was very much one of my prized possessions. So,
and do you have siblings as well?
I have 5 siblings, so 3 brothers and 2 sisters. So
wow, you are the oldest. You're the oldest.
I'm the second youngest. Yeah.
I see. And which person in your life, in your family, you feel more close to right now?
At the moment, probably my 2 sisters, Rachel and Emma. We've always had quite a close kind of bond growing up, and I mean, we've all kind of at different points, kind of different people in the family, we've all been quite creative. But I think definitely me and Rachel and me and Emma, we probably have a bit more of a bond through just the kind of different kind of creative ways in which we kind of express ourselves, and I think we get each other a lot more than I kind of. I have a good relationship with my brothers, but I think I kind of understand and get my sisters more, which is why we can have a better relationship. So
I see. Okay, so most of them, they're watching this interview right now and have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say?
I guess I would just say thank you so much for like believing in me, and I guess not giving up on me at times where I definitely have been difficult potentially through the years of dealing with a lot of the kind of stuff that's happened in my life, and allowing myself to, or giving me the grace at least to kind of deal with a lot of processing things through my music, and allowing myself to kind of get things out through song, and also giving me the benefit of a doubt when I kind of needed to work on my relationship with people as well. So I guess thank you for all of that.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, tell me, for you to write your songs, do you have like some moments that you feel more inspired? Are they based in your personal life, in your surroundings? So walk me through a little bit more about your career as a songwriter.
Yeah, so for me, I kind of started writing when I was 16. I think for me, it was always a way to kind of express myself kind of emotionally. I've always been a very kind of deeply empathic, very emotional person. So for me, it's always been difficult at times. I mean, generally, I'm very emotional and very easy in terms of expressing myself, but sometimes there's very particular emotions, very particular things that I find very difficult to get out by myself. And I feel like songwriting helps me kind of get things out in a way that I can't really express with words or through just kind of generally living. So for me, like I think definitely my kind of focus, obviously very much being the hopeless romantic that I am, a good chunk of my songs can be about relationships or I definitely have a lot of kind of songs that come from life experience, whether it be my own or things that have happened in the world. I would never kind of necessarily call myself a very kind of political writer. I mean, I have written some kind of political songs and stuff, but I kind of generally kind of veer more towards relationships, general life experience, and also other people's stories. So.
And do you feel more inspired like some time of the day or the evening, or not? It can happen anytime?
So like generally for me, it's kind of a strange thing. Like I'll always kind of find definitely late at night, like I'll kind of inspiration will hit me and then I'll kind of be up for a couple of hours and I'll kind of have to think about, how am I going to, if I don't kind of get the song out, then I'm essentially not going to be able to sleep. So I either have to kind of get it out kind of in that moment, or I'll have to at least record a part of it and then be able to kind of move on and come back to it another time. But generally it's quite late at night, maybe 3, 4 in the morning, or like kind of like 9, 10 at night or something. A random kind of idea will kind of hit me, and especially just before I'm about to go to bed, I'll have to start them working on it because it'll stay in my head otherwise.
Amazing. Next question is, if you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
That's a good question. I think for me growing up, I think there's definitely a lot of times where I felt like I couldn't fully be myself. I think, and that not being down to necessarily kind of anything happening in general to kind of stop me from doing that. But I think, like, especially growing up queer and growing up as somebody, all my kind of siblings and stuff are straight and, very much kind of traditional in the way that they've kind of gone through life. I mean, I'm so kind of far away from that in terms of how I live my life and how I interact with kind of the world and how I've kind of grown up and kind of changed my perception of how I kind of view things because of living through like being queer and then also being in the kink scene and being a songwriter who's trying to express all of that and kind of understand all of that through my music and that kind of stuff. So I think very much it's been a case of, I think I'm a lot better at being myself these days, but it's taken me a lot of time to get there. So
And that, what's the biggest joy of being Michael? What do you like the most about being you?
I think like my like undying love of trying to be like kind to people and like my patience when it comes to like people testing me or people having to, I think a lot of people go through very difficult things in their life, and I think a lot of people can become quite negative and can become, quite hurtful through those kind of experiences and allowing them to kind of really affect them. For me, I think my kind of favorite part about myself is being able to still stay grateful and still be able to be in a space where I'm kind to people and, obviously definitely, I'm human. I also slip at times and I also am able to, have my moments of not being, the best person. But I think overall, just my general level of being able to be, kind to people and be able to connect with them and I guess stay positive and try and kind of put positivity out there into the world where possible.
What's your star sign astrology?
So I'm an Aries, so extremely fiery.
Yeah, they say the Aries, they are the childish compared to the other star sign. They have this personality of being energetic, having this, like children energy. I think that's of the sign of Aries. Next question, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, next question is, where is the most exotic place have you ever been?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, it's probably between Malaysia or Singapore.
Okay.
I think Singapore is definitely my favorite. So I've actually got cousins over in Singapore. One of them is actually kind of over visiting. I had my uncle's 60th on Saturday, And it was lovely. We had like a really nice time. Everyone kind of came up together and got a good chunk of the kind of extended family together, and we kind of had a nice kind of catch up and just kind of really celebrated him, which was fantastic. And yeah, like we're quite close with the family, and very much our extended family. We try and kind of keep as close as we possibly can. But yeah, I definitely think Singapore is probably one of the most exotic places I've been to. And I absolutely loved it there. I mean, like, you know, the kind of culture, the food, I mean, just like the architecture, everything about Singapore is just, it's so perfectly organized and put together in terms of, I mean, transport is fantastic, getting to move around is easy, and I absolutely adore the place. So
Amazing. And where you plan to go for your next holidays?
I've got a couple on my list. So I mean, being very much somebody who loves to travel, I mean, I've always kind of had a very long list of kind of places I kind of want to go. But next on my kind of list of big places to go, like I'd love to check out Canada or like Australia or New Zealand. Those would probably be my top three, or Japan. But obviously, they're all kind of very big holidays that cost a lot of money, and I'm very much somebody who needs to build up money over a long period of time because I'm not a rich person. So, but
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think traveling, I love traveling as well. Actually, I'm going to Canada next month. So
Okay, amazing.
Montreal.
Have you been before, or?
Yeah, my godson, my best friend, he lives there. He's French, but he lives in Canada.
Brilliant.
So yeah, so I go every year for my godson birthday. So or for Christmas. It's a good
Amazing.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a friend or two in Canada, and they absolutely love living there. Like it looks so gorgeous they do all these kind of hiking trails and different things, and it looks absolutely stunning. So
3 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, next question for you is, what's the biggest difference between you and your best friends?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I think my best friend at the moment would definitely be Molly. She is my absolute rock, and she has been since I kind of met her in my second year of college.
Wow.
I do love her to bits, and she has helped me through more than she possibly could ever know. And I mean, to be fair, we've been there for each other for a very, very long time, and you know, I've helped her through a lot of things that she's found very difficult, and she's certainly helped me through a lot of things in my life that I've had to struggle with. So I don't know where I'd be without her. I think the biggest probably difference between the two of us is I'm probably a little bit more like extroverted in terms of, like, she's also quite extroverted, but I think I deal with, it's kind of good because we complement each other. So she's very good at, like, especially when it comes to like the music side of things, she's very good at like the business side of things, and very much being like on the side of kind of knowing how to network and do all that kind of stuff through like LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. But I'm a lot better at the kind of in-person, like talking to people, networking at like social events, that kind of stuff, whereas she would probably be, you know, have a little bit more kind of social anxiety. She's done a lot of work to kind of work through that, and you know, she's absolutely doing so much better than she was, which I'm so proud to see. But definitely that's kind of, I'd say, where we have our biggest differences, is that she's very good on the networking business side of things from like the kind of technology kind of backside, whereas I'm probably better at it in terms of the talking to people in the kind of physical sense and being there. So that's probably our biggest difference between us.
And the biggest similarity?
I think just like our like unwavering kind of love for life, I think. I think like we're both very positive people. We both just like to kind of have fun. And when we're together, I mean, it's just kind of like the kind of world kind of fades away and we can just kind of be in our own little bubble. I absolutely adore spending time with her, and like it is such a privilege to have her in my life. So I'm very, very grateful to have her as one of my best friends.
Beautiful. I can see her smiling right now. Watch this interview after that.
Oh, that's so funny. There's so many things I've talked about on here that I didn't think I was going to be getting through today, but but I'm glad I'm getting through them. So thank you very much. This has been such a fantastic interview so far, and you have just been so lovely. So thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you. 2 questions left.
Let's do it.
Before the next one, tell me 3 names of 3 big artists that you always be inspired by in the music industry.
So my kind of main inspirations would be Daft Punk, Sigrid. She's absolutely fantastic. She's a lovely kind of pop kind of singer-songwriter. She's fantastic and an absolute superstar. Daft Punk is obviously their kind of EDM and kind of dance music is just phenomenal. And the third would be Goldfish. who are a dance jazz duo from South Africa, and I'm absolutely obsessed with them. I've actually seen them a couple of times now. They came to Dublin twice, which was just absolutely amazing to see them live. They have just such incredible energy to them. It was actually my oldest brother who kind of showed me kind of Goldfish as an act, and I've gotten into them kind of ever since. So that was a couple of years ago. But yeah, seeing them live was probably one of the best kind of moments for kind of seeing any of my kind of artists so far. So
wow. Okay, so one day you're gonna wake up in the morning having 3 missed calls on your phone for the 3 you just mentioned right now, okay? Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message? I call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, you don't send a message, you just ignore them.
Oh, okay, that's tough. Call back instantly. Goldfish. Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, like I would instantly get back to them. I would want to collaborate. I'd want to work on music with them. I'd want to play a live show with them, and anything and everything above. I would want to do something with them as an artist, which would be fantastic. Leave a message. Definitely Secret. I think Secret would probably be my second favorite like collaboration if I was ever to do one. So it would be an absolute dream to do something with her. And the only reason I wouldn't call back Daft Punk or wouldn't leave a message for Daft Punk is only because they've retired. If they hadn't retired, I would absolutely, absolutely, yeah. If they hadn't retired, I would absolutely have called them back probably first or left a message. But because they've retired, it's the only fair way to do it. So,
I didn't know that they retired. They have. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've retired. Yeah, they retired. I think 2 or 3 years ago now. So it's been a while. But yeah, they kind of, I don't know if it's like a full retirement or it's just like a semi-retirement for now, but yeah, they've kind of decided to kind of hang up the helmets for the moment.
I was about to say, they never showed their face. They never,
never showed their face. No, or not that I've ever seen. But
wow, amazing. All right. Next question is, if you could have been a moment or event in history, which one that would be and why?
Ooh, I think that's a really good one. Probably around the time of like William Shakespeare and around that kind of period of time. I'm also a massive poet, so I love anything kind of poetry or literature, that kind of stuff. So when I can kind of dive into that side of things, I absolutely adore it. So I think, yeah, being around that kind of time period of that kind of old-timey English speaking and being able to kind of immerse myself in just the writing back then was just absolute artistry. So yeah, I think that would definitely be a time period I'd love to go back to. So
it's interesting. You just made me remember a situation. Of course, my name is William, and
yes,
back in Brazil, when I was growing up, I was singing in the choir in the church. Yeah. And one of my tutor, the one who was guiding us, he used to call me William Shakespeare as a joke. He all the time, Shakespeare, come here, you know what I mean, like as a joke. And one day we were in the church, and somebody new came, like just to train us. I don't remember, it was a special situation. And they were asked some names, and they were like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "William Shakespeare." Oh, no, sorry, William.
Yeah.
Automatically, I said, "Oh, my name is William Shakespeare," and I stopped it. I was like, "No, my name is William. Sorry, just because I got too used to him call me all the time, William Shakespeare." And no, I'm not.
That must be like a full like circle moment for you then. It's like,
no, it was funny. Sorry, say again.
I said that must be like a full circle moment for you then, like having like this moment of talking about William Shakespeare. And like I think sometimes the universe has a funny way of like kind of connecting things sometimes. So
and absolutely, because he was calling me as a joke. Sometimes people called me Will.I.Am or Billy or Will. So it's kind of, when I hear too much the name, and of course I was a child, and I got used to him calling me William Shakespeare all the time as a joke. And one day somebody asked me, and I was so away from my thoughts. I was like, "Oh, my name is William Shakespeare." Oh, sorry, no, William. My name is William.
Yeah. William Shakespeare was a visionary, so
absolutely
not the worst person to be compared to. So
absolutely. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, next question is, which book had a big influence on you?
Ooh, so my favorite book would probably be Ready Player One. So Ready Player One is kind of like a mixture of like fantasy, and it's essentially just like if the nerdiest book possible existed, it would probably be Ready Player One. It's like a mishmash of like loads of like old like TV and movie and like gaming references, and it's just fantastic. So essentially it's kind of set in this kind of world where essentially it's called the Oasis, which is a simulated version of reality. So it's like, a couple of years in the future. I think it's like set in like 2070 or something. But it's like
Uh-huh.
everyone lives in this like alternate reality called the Oasis, where you can like be whoever you want to be. You can be like, a dragon character. You can be like an alien, whatever you want your kind of character to be. You can roam around and be in all these different kind of worlds and this kind of stuff. And some of them could be like retro worlds, like kind of like older kind of styles of games that you can be in, or completely different worlds that like people have never seen before, or just completely things that are totally out there. But essentially, the whole kind of premise of the kind of book is for people to kind of find this Easter egg, and if they find the Easter egg, then essentially they gain control of the kind of whole kind of simulated reality, which is
Um,
like a multi-billion kind of industry. Um, it's
wow.
it's fantastic. Yeah, it's really really good.
Last question. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Last one. But for the last question, as you mentioned in the beginning of the interview about being a queer guy, growing up, in Ireland, did you have the support of your family at the time? It was a bit tricky for you. Can you share a little bit about your experience at the time?
Yeah, so I think for me, very much was a thing of, I mean, growing up, I grew up in an all boys school through secondary school. So it was very difficult for me to be able to actually come to terms with the fact that I was gay and that, I was trying to think about coming out. And, there was nobody else kind of around me at that time who was gay. So I didn't really have any kind of role models or kind of people to kind of go off of or kind of learn from. I mean, I was just kind of essentially just kind of wading through life, just trying to figure out kind of how I could, come out and if that was okay. And I mean, my mom is quite religious, so I did have a fear kind of growing up of whether she would kind of accept me. And, luckily I was very fortunate that, even though she is very religious, she was also extremely accepting. And, the family completely accepted me for who I am. And like, I am in that very fortunate position. I know that is very much a privilege that, being in a family that, has totally accepted me, it has changed a lot for me. And I know that things could have been very different if they hadn't accepted me. So I'm very fortunate that they did that. But it was so difficult kind of growing up. I mean, through secondary school, I mean, I didn't feel like I could come out because I was in an all boys school, and there was always that pressure to deal with, you know, people saying things behind your back or people, kind of spreading rumors about you. And it wasn't until coming out so it was kind of 16 that I kind of figured out that I was gay. I kind of had kind of suspicions at 14, but I kind of didn't let myself kind of fully dive into it yet. And then at 16, I kind of realized I was. And then it wasn't until 18 that I properly came out to everyone. At 16, I kind of came out to like some of my closest friends, and then nobody else. And then 18, I came out properly. And the way I came out to like the whole school was bringing my then boyfriend at the time, which was my first ever boyfriend, to the Debs, which is our kind of version of kind of a prom or that kind of stuff for all those Americans and that kind of stuff out there. But it was kind of my way of kind of showing my kind of year and stuff that, I'm not afraid. This is who I am. You can kind of accept me or kind of leave it as is. And we actually ended up winning Deb's King and King, which was the first ever time that I think a gay couple has won Deb's King and King at Fenton's High School, which was very much a turning point, I feel, for not only my kind of year, but also kind of any kind of years kind of going past, and to kind of know that, times are changing. And it was a very special moment to realize that, like, people are a lot more accepting than we thought. So
Amazing. Good. Last question is, if someone offered to tell your future, would you accept it or not, and why?
I think I'd prefer to be kept in the dark.
Okay.
I think, I definitely could be somebody who'd be interested in my future, but I think as somebody who can be very much an overthinker at times, I definitely don't think I need the pressure of knowing what my future is. I think I'd prefer to know that it's unknown, and be able to kind of at least kind of work my own kind of version of being able to create my own reality, as opposed to thinking that I have a reality set for me. So
Okay. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to say some words and just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
okay.
Let's start with religion.
Complicated.
Money.
Oh, that's a good one. Capitalism.
Fear.
Anxiety.
Family.
It's funny, if you had asked me this question at a different time, I probably would have given you a totally different answer. But at the moment, I'm going to say gratitude.
Okay.
Hmm.
One word for life.
Hopeful.
Sex.
Connection.
Love.
Hopeless. Or hopeless romantic, if I could say two.
Politics.
Politics. Greed.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Ooh, desire. Let's see. Desire. Oh, that's a really good one. Let me have a think. Passion.
Regret.
Regret. Wow. That is a really good one. Dang. Regret. Longing.
Success.
Achievable.
Wish.
Wish. Singer.
Okay. Happiness.
Joy.
One word for Dublin.
Ooh. That is good for Dublin. Passionate.
One word for Ireland.
Traditional.
Wow. One word for music.
Love.
One word for songwriter.
Career.
And the last one now, singer, one word.
Dream.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your friend, Nicole, the one you mentioned. Nicole, her name you mentioned during the interview, your best friend?
Molly, yes.
Molly, sorry, Molly. So let's pretend that I'm going to meet Molly for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Michael in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
Ooh, what would she say?
About you. One word positive and one negative and one positive.
For positive, it would probably be loving.
Okay.
Negative, probably stubborn.
She knows you very well.
Yes. Maybe a bit too well.
Let's play now, Michael, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But
Sounds
before
good.
that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. But before asking the question, people, when they come to see your singing, when they, come to your gigs, what's something that would you like to people to take with them?
I think when people come to see my shows, I think I want them to be kind of fully present. I want them to kind of know that, there's a lot kind of happening in the world right now. I think there's some, very kind of despicable things kind of happening in the world right now. And I think it's also good to know that it's quite privileged to kind of be in that space, that you're able to come to a show and that, you're safe and you're able to be in a space that you're able to not worry about, what's on the table or, what's happening in your environment around you. And that a lot of us here in a place that isn't dealing with a lot of strife or isn't dealing with what's happening on the other side of the world, I think it's important for us to recognize that privilege and to be able to maybe use our voices to help other people at this time. But I think most importantly to also be grateful for the moment that we have, because who knows what's going to happen next.
Totally. Okay, can you ask me a question now, Michael?
Perfect. If you could talk to your younger self 10 years ago, what would you say to him?
Oh my God, great question. It's funny enough because this weekend I was talking to a friend of mine, a very good friend. He lives in Holland, and we were having a conversation about friendship, about how we grow up, how we understand. You see, every age we see things a different way.
Mm.
Great. So I think 10 years ago, I would give to myself, you know, advice from me would go like, you know what? Sometimes you don't need to, you know, to feel so insecure about, for example, I have the
Mm.
tendency, my personality is, if I think about friends, people who around me, I don't hold back. I just go like, oh, hello, how are you? Oh, I've been thinking about you. How was your, you know, I just have, I express myself straight away through
Yeah.
my, you know, I'm a very expressive person about,
Mm.
about feelings and about emotions in a very good way, you know. So, and I realize that sometimes I give myself a lot like myself,
Yeah.
and I don't not I'm not expecting back. But for me, it's a natural thing to do. But let's say 10 years ago, I would do that, and for me, it would be normal, natural. But
Mm.
nowadays, you know, for me, I think everything needs to be from both sides. Yeah, like you need to, of course, express yourself. But sometimes as well, it feels nice for you to receive a message from or from a friend, very good friend of yours. Not just it doesn't need to, you know, to say that you are thinking about me or but how are you or something very simple. So
Mm.
back to your question, I think 10 years ago I would tell myself, you know what? Be, still carry on being yourself. However, you know, sometimes just um, hold back a little bit about this spontaneous way of being. You know, if you feel like sharing your emotions, something with the right people, of course, you do it. But
Mm.
sometimes, remember, sometimes try to learn that it needs to be both sides, not just you. You know what I
Mm.
mean? You can still do it, but just remember that if something's not you know happening the other way around, maybe something is not there or maybe something's not happening, you know. So watch out a little bit more about okay, to memorize everything, watch more a little bit more about your the way you express yourself through your feelings and through your emotions, because
Mm.
sometimes you know it's great to express yourself, but sometimes you need to understand that um, you know how can I put that, that if you're sharing, you need to receive as well somehow from the right people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
I totally get what you mean.
I would give my advice for me just to chill out a little bit, you know, be still be yourself, but express yourself in a way that maybe for the right people, to the right people,
Mm.
express yourself, you know. Um, and sometimes if you don't receive back or if you're not there, it's maybe something is not there. Maybe something's
Mm.
not there that maybe you're expecting, or maybe so just chill out a little bit about that. So I would give, I mean, I would give so many advice for myself, but because when you ask the question, based on this conversation I had with a friend of
Mm.
mine this weekend, it made me reflect a little bit more about expressing our feelings. That's something I would say. Just watch out a little bit more. I would say watch out a little bit more about the way you express your feelings through people around you. Yeah.
Mm. I think that's important because I think so many of us, I mean, I know definitely from my experience, I'm very similar in that way that I definitely give a lot of myself to people
Yes. I
in potentially ways that I probably shouldn't have, or I
That's true.
guess I should sometimes be able to, be able to hold things back for myself. But that's just the way I am. In the same way as you, I'm a very expressive person. I've always been
Absolutely. Yeah.
somebody who's kind of given maybe a bit too much of myself at times to, or at least given people too much information at times where I
No,
should have held things back. So I totally understand you there.
I get your point. And sometimes it's a beautiful thing for you to express the way you are. I think it's a beautiful thing to express your feelings.
Mm.
However, you need to understand that things need to be like a mirror. You need to, you know, you need
Mm.
to give, but sometimes it's good to receive as well. And if it's not
Definitely.
there, something is not there, and you need to understand why. So that's
Yeah.
how, yeah, good one. Did you enjoy the interview?
I had a fantastic time. It was absolutely amazing. And thank you so much. You've been so, so lovely. This has been really comfortable, really relaxed. Definitely some questions wasn't I wasn't sure if I was going to answer, but I'm very glad that I did answer. So
Thank you.
I think everything's been it's been very revealing for me in a nice way. I'm very reflective. So yeah, thank you very much. And you've been nothing but lovely. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Michael. Thanks so much. I'm so grateful for people to take their time for us because, as you know very well, we are so busy with our own lives. You know, we have
Of
so
course.
much in our plate, and when someone take their time for you, I think it's precious because
Mm.
you know nowadays time is very precious for everyone. So thanks again for being so sweet and so kind and accept my invitation. And
No
before
worries
we
at all.
go,
Yeah.
You can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think for me, I think something that I've definitely kind of come into in the past while is believing, and it took me a while to kind of get back here because obviously I go back and forth with, being a singer-songwriter. It's, not the easiest journey. You're dealing with a lot of kind of strife and a lot of trials and tribulations, and there's a lot of work that goes into being a songwriter. And, sometimes it's always, not the most, well-paid thing, or, maybe not paid at all, or, well, let's be honest, the majority of it is unpaid until you get to a certain point. But like, I think it's for anybody that has a dream, believe in the fact that you can have or work towards that dream, because you believing in that dream is the first step to allowing yourself to actually achieve it. And all of us can achieve our dreams if we have the courage to go for them, I think.
Beautiful. I love that. Beautiful.
Thank you. That'd be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, William. This has been such a pleasure.
Thanks again. Have a good night and keep in touch. And I see you sometime in Dublin, in London, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm in London, I'll let you know. I mean, if you come to Dublin, definitely hit me up. But I mean, I'm definitely going to be over in London sometime next year. It's just a matter of building up the money for it. And then once I've kind of moved over, I'll kind of be in that space. But no, I can't wait to be over, and definitely would love to grab a coffee or something. That'd be fantastic.
Of course. Amazing. Take care. Okay. Have a good night.
You
Okay?
too.
Bye-bye.
Have a lovely night. Bye.
You too. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.